Motocross isn't just about speed. It's about conquering some of the most brutal, extreme, and legendary tracks in the world. From deep sand monster to steep hill climbs and technical natural terrain circuits, these tracks test even the best riders on the planet. First up, we have ERNEE, one of the most legendary motocross tracks in the world. This French circuit is famous for its massive elevation changes, technical layout, and insane crowd atmosphere, especially when it hosts the Motocross of Nations. What makes it so insane? Steep hills and rough ruts. The track is carved into a hillside, making it one of the most technical in the world. Extreme weather conditions. Rain turns the track into a slick nightmare, while dry conditions make it rough and unforgiving. One of the loudest motocross crowds in the world. The French fans bring a soccer stadium-level energy. If you ever watch the Motocross of Nations here, you'll witness one of the wildest crowds in motocross history. It's no surprise that some of the greatest battles in the sport have taken place at ERNEE. Now let's talk about LOMMEL, arguably the toughest sand track on the planet. If you want to see riders pushed to their absolute physical and mental limits, this is the place. Every lap, the track transforms into a brutal battlefield with deep shifting sand that swallows bikes whole. Unlike hard-packed tracks, where riders can control their lines, LOMMEL forces them to adapt constantly, making it a true test of skill, endurance, and sheer willpower. LOMMEL is one of the toughest motocross tracks in the world due to its deep, shifting sand that creates relentless bumps and ever-changing lines. Riders must constantly adapt as the track gets rougher with every lap, demanding extreme endurance, strength, and precise bike control. The soft terrain absorbs power, making acceleration difficult, while massive braking bumps test both rider skill and suspension setup. Whether dry and loose or wet and heavy, LOMMEL remains a brutal test of physical and mental toughness, earning its reputation as a true motocross battlefield. LOMMEL is not only a legendary motocross track, but also a hub for top factory motocross teams, with many manufacturers and race teams basing their operations nearby. Its demanding sand conditions make it the perfect testing ground for developing and fine-tuning dirt bikes, allowing teams to perfect suspension, engine performance, and rider endurance. Many motocross champions spend countless hours training at LOMMEL, using its brutal terrain to prepare for the toughest races of the season. With its reputation as the ultimate proving ground, LOMMEL plays a crucial role in shaping the world's fastest motocross riders and machines. Even the best riders in the world struggle here. It's the track that separates the champions from the rest. If you're racing at LOMMEL, you better bring your A-game. Next up, we head to California's HELEN Raceway, home to some of the steepest hill climbs in motocross. If you love speed, elevation, and wide-open racing, this track is a must-watch. The infamous Mount St. Helens hill climb challenges riders with an almost vertical ascent, only to throw them into an equally terrifying downhill descent. With multiple line choices and varying dirt conditions, HELEN demands both bravery and skill. One of HELEN's most notorious features is its steep hills, including the famous Mount St. Helen, which rises sharply and forces riders to navigate high-speed climbs and descents. These hills require precise throttle control, as going too fast can send riders out of control, while going too slow can cause them to lose momentum. The downhill sections are just as tough, with heavy braking needed to avoid overshooting turns. The track gets extremely rough throughout the day, developing deep braking bumps and acceleration chop. The combination of hard-packed sections and loose dirt makes the surface unpredictable, requiring riders to constantly adjust their technique. HELEN is also known for forming square-edged bumps, which can make bike setup a nightmare, as suspension needs to handle both high-speed straights and technical sections. Unlike many other tracks, HELEN features incredibly fast straights, where bikes reach high speeds before hitting deep braking bumps and tight corners. This makes it physically demanding, as riders have to absorb massive impacts while staying in control. The deep ruts and corners also force riders to be precise with their line choices, as picking the wrong one can ruin momentum or lead to mistakes. Because of the combination of elevation, rough terrain, and high speeds, GLEN HELEN is one of the most physically exhausting tracks on the circuit. Riders must be in peak physical shape to handle the punishing conditions, and mental focus is crucial to avoid mistakes at high speeds. It's a track that rewards the toughest and most skilled riders, making it one of the most respected venues in motocross. Maggiora, one of the most iconic motocross tracks in the world, is known for its natural terrain, steep elevation changes, and technical layout that challenge even the most skilled riders. Located in the hills of northern Italy, this historic track has hosted some of the most legendary motocross battles, including the famous 1986 Motocross des Nations. Its unique combination of soft yet grippy soil, high-speed sections, and massive jumps makes it both a rider's dream and a true test of skill and endurance. One of the most defining features of Maggiora is its natural rolling hills, which create a layout unlike any modern man-made motocross track. Riders must navigate steep uphills and sharp downhill descents that require perfect throttle control, braking, and body positioning. The elevation changes not only test a rider's skill, but also put extra demands on the bike's suspension and power delivery. Unlike tracks with artificial jumps, Maggiora's hills create natural, flowing jumps that launch riders high into the air, making it both spectacular to watch and technically demanding to ride. Maggiora's soil is a mix of soft loam and hardpack underneath, which creates a challenging surface that changes throughout the race. In dry conditions, the dirt becomes slick in some areas while remaining grippy in others, making bike setup crucial. When wet, the track can turn into a slippery and rutted mess, forcing riders to constantly adjust their lines and techniques. Deep ruts form in corners, making turns technical and demanding precise control. The terrain is forgiving in some sections but punishing in others, requiring riders to stay on their toes at all times. Maggiora is known for its high-flying jumps, some of which are placed on steep hills, making for massive airtime. Unlike modern supercross-style jumps, these are shaped by the natural terrain, meaning takeoffs and landings are unpredictable. Riders must carefully judge their speed and technique to ensure they land smoothly and maintain momentum. The track also features high-speed sweeping sections, where maintaining flow is critical. Riders who can keep their rhythm and carry speed through the technical sections gain a significant advantage. Maggiora stands out as one of the most unique and demanding motocross tracks in the world. Its natural terrain, challenging elevation changes, unpredictable soil, and iconic jumps make it a true test of skill, endurance, and racecraft. Riders must master every aspect of motocross: throttle control, bike setup, line selection, and mental toughness to succeed here. With its rich history and legendary status, Maggiora remains one of the most respected and beloved tracks in the sport, offering both thrilling racing and a grueling challenge for those who take it on.